Alright boys, we've got ourselves a good meme today, and all you need to know to understand this math meme is this 4-year-old TikTok video and some obscure mathematical notation from 1947. The gist of the joke here is surprise at something happening over and over again when you don't expect it to. So let's start by looking at that 4-year-old TikTok meme. Link to the full video in the description, but I'll just let you get a taste of it here.
This is a square. Can you guess which spot that goes in?
The square.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
Also the square.
that goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got this thin rectangle.
The thin
Can
rectangle.
you guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
The circle.
the square hole.
And of course, the joke continues with the guy on the right continuing to put every single shape in the square hole because they do actually fit, and the woman on the left getting increasingly stressed out at the, what shall we call it, chicanery. Our protagonist here keeps expecting different shapes to go into different holes. Now, what's going on with the 2's? Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is also 4, and well, you can probably see where this is going. We've got a bunch of different operations carried out with 2's. You might expect them to yield different results because it's a bunch of different operations, but in fact, everything goes in the 4 hole at the end of the day. No doubt, these first 3 instances of 2 2's being used to make 4 are obvious to you, but the last 3 are a bit more obscure. Let's make them all clear. Underlying all of this is the idea of iterated operations. Perhaps the most basic operation is the successor operation, which actually operates on only a single number at a time. The successor of a number n is found by just adding 1 to n. The successor of 2, for example, is 3. Now, addition is just a nice way of iterating the successor operation. 2 plus 2 says that we should apply the successor operation to 2 twice, so s of 2. The successor of 2 is 3, and then the successor of that is 4, so 2 plus 2 is 4. Then what is multiplication? Well, that's just a nice way of representing iterated addition. 2 times 2 is 2 plus 2. We could keep going up then. Instead of considering repeated addition, why don't we consider repeated multiplication? That, of course, gives us exponents, and 2 to the power of 2 tells us that we should multiply 2 times itself, and of course that again gives us 4. So referring back to our guiding light, which is the meme, this of course gets us up to here. Now we arrive at this first, less common operation. This is repeated exponentiation. We're just carrying on the pattern, right? And this is called tetration. We had the successor operation at the bottom of this ladder, and then repeating that gives us addition. Repeated addition is multiplication, repeated multiplication is exponentiation, and repeating exponentiation gives us this new operation called tetration. In general, the nth tetration of a is equal to a to the power of a to the power of a, and so on, so that there are n a's here total. That means this towering exponent would have n minus 1 a's, so the a at the base brings us to a total of n a's. All of these 2's can make this stuff a little confusing, so just to make sure that you understand this, a quick example. What about 2 tetrated to the 3, or the third tetration of 2, as we should pronounce it? This is just 2 to the power of 2 2's, so that there are 3 2's total. These are then evaluated from right to left. So first do this 2 to the power of 2, which is 4, so this is 2 to the power of 4, and that is 16. Now, of course, the second tetration of 2, well, what would that be? Well, it's just repeated exponentiation. It tells us we should have 2 2's, and well, 2 to the 2 is just 2 times 2, which of course is just 2 plus 2, it's 4. The reason this is working out like this is that these are all binary operations, which means they operate on 2 numbers at a time. And so when we use them on the number which describes how many inputs they take, we get this weird repetition. This is 2's added together, but how many of them? Well, 2 of them. So that's 2 times 2. This is 2's multiplied together, but how many of them? 2 of them. So by definition, that's 2 to the 2. This is 2's exponentiated to each other, but how many of them? 2 of them, so by definition, the second tetration of 2. Tetration, of course, is coming from the prefix tetra, which stands for 4, and the word iteration. This wackiness starts with addition, and tetration is the 1, 2, 3, 4th operation in line. Then what's the next one, if we could possibly be so brazen as to iterate tetration? Well, that of course is called pentation. And you probably don't need me to break down the etymology of this word. The names were given to these what are sometimes called hyperoperations by mathematician Reuben Goodstein in 1947. There's not a universally agreed upon notation for them, but a common notation for pentation looks like this. The number a pentated to the number n can be denoted with 3 upwards arrows. And it's just like the tower of exponents we saw for tetration, except instead of the exponents going to the right, they would go to the left because they're actually representing tetration. Again, this is iterated tetration, whereas tetration was iterated exponentiation. So a pentated to n is a tetrated to a, and so on, so that there are n a's total, which means in that tower of a's in the superscript, there should be n minus 1. Throw in the base, that's n a's total. Now, to actually see an example of this, we need to keep the numbers pretty small, so we're going to again use 2 and 3. The third pentation of 2 is equal to 2 tetrated to 2 tetrated to 2, so there are 3 2's here total. Now remember, 2 tetrated to 2, we've already discussed, like everything here, that is 4. So this is equal to 2 tetrated to 4. And then the fourth tetration of 2, well, by definition, that's 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2. We have to evaluate this from right to left, so this is 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 4. 2 to the power of 4 is 16, so that's 2 to the power of 16, and that is 65,536. And then, of course, the more simple example relevant to our discussion is 2 pentated to 2. Well, that, by definition, is a tetration of 2's. How many 2's? 2 of them, and 2 tetrated to 2 we've discussed is 4. Everything goes in the 4 hole, and there's one example left. At this point, you can probably see how we could keep taking this iteration process further and further. We could iterate pentation, and then we could iterate that, and then iterate that, and so on. It's very cumbersome to come up with a brand new notation for every single one of these related operations. One option is to generalize this what's called Knuth up arrow notation. Instead of writing 3 up arrows, we could say that for pentation, we're going to write a up arrow with a 3 in the superscript n. This would represent pentation, and then a with an up arrow 2 in the superscript with n would represent the previous operation of tetration, and then a with an up arrow with a 1 in the exponent, that would be exponentiation. And in general, a up arrow with a k n is the kth hyperoperation evaluated with a and n, where we regard exponentiation as the first hyperoperation. Now, this final panel of the meme is what's called Conway's chained arrow notation, and it's just a different way of representing this. Although the role that k is playing in this expression is the role that n is playing in this expression. 2 and 2 here are playing the roles of a and n. So this is here because, in fact, it doesn't matter how far up you go the ladder of hyperoperations. If you evaluate one at 2 and 2, you're always going to get 4. So just like this pentation notation tells us to do a tetration with n a's, which is exactly what this notation says as well, we could write a right arrow, n right arrow, 4 to indicate that we should do a pentation with n a's. So if, for example, we wrote 2 right arrow 2 right arrow 4, this would mean that we should do a pentation with 2 2s. We know that the second pentation of 2, going back to that up arrow notation, is by definition the second tetration of 2, which is 2 to the power of 2, which is 2 times 2, which is 2 plus 2, which is 2 successor operations applied to 2, which is 4. And again, no matter what this number at the end is, 4, 5, 6, however high up we go, it's in the end always going to come back to 2 successor operations applied to 2, getting us to the same place. Again, this seeming glitch in the system happens because these operations are defined as iteratives of each other, and they all require 2 inputs. 2 times 2 means add 2 2s together. Just like 2 to the power of 2 means multiply 2 2s together. In contrast to 3 times 3, this does not mean add 2 3s together. 3 times 3 is not equal to 3 plus 3. And 3 to the power of 3 does not mean multiply 2 3s together. It means multiply 3 3s together. But thanks to 2 being what it is, and these operations being what they are, it can just slide between all of these operations with unimaginable grace. There's a lot more fun stuff we could say about these operations, but this is a meme explainer, so I'll just leave it there. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or other things about these funny operations you'd like to see me discuss. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for the swankiest math videos on the internet.
I'm unstable, revealing art to keep the cable cut and unsort the table. If Texas Instruments don't reply, I think this time it might be fatal. Wish to sell my own fake, cause I'm jaded.
Hate the odds that I calculated.
Press and pull and pray and push it all the way through the whole blue
Planet faded.
psychosomatic habits, why you so